What?
Are we time traveling?
What? Hello from the future. Hey, everybody. Welcome to I Feel Sorry for All You Dorks in the Past. You don't even know who... What? I was going to say who wins the presidential election, but that's not right. It's more like you don't even know how Easter... No, you know how Easter was. You don't even... Okay, you know everything. Okay, there's no advantage. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Super Awesome Video Game Show. I'm John.
I'm John.
Yep. And, hey, we've got a little experiment here, all right? So... in Japan, Dark Souls 3 came out. This is the Xbox One version. It's fully in English. All you have to do is go buy it for like 8,000 yen. And so we're going to go ahead and we're going to play some Dark Souls 3. Now, part of this whole video, and I'm going to remind you guys constantly, is to ask whether or not we should do like dojos and streaming and stuff all about Dark Souls 3.
Or should we wait till its actual release date?
Should we wait till it's actually out? Like, I really want to kind of get a straw poll from people about, like, what, you know, because I know there's a lot of people who don't want to see the game until they want to, you know, find everything out for themselves. So, but anyway, we thought we would do something. So this isn't, you know, this isn't the entirety of our coverage.
Basically, Jeff is asking, can he do like Dark Souls videos every day until the game's U.S. release date?
Yeah. Anyway, ooh, I love this intro.
It is called Lothric,
Lothric.
Yeah.
where the transitory lands of the Lords of Cinder converge.
Look at that guy.
Oh, they got turtles.
Venturing north,
The pilgrims.
the pilgrims discover the truth of the old words.
What truth?
Fear the old blood. Oh, wait, no, that's, sorry.
Old
Okay.
words. This is old words.
Yeah.
The fire fades.
Lords go without thrones.
Oh. Oh no.
Oh, poop.
Someone get that guy some water.
Yeah. Medic! These don't seem like real
Okay, steal his stuff. He's dead.
medic-oriented
He's not
kinda
moving. He's
guys.
dead. Take his stuff.
Yep, take his stuff.
Break those chains.
Yep, kill him, take his stuff, eat his corpse.
Threatened, the bell tolls,
For whom the bell tolls.
unearthing the old Lords of Cinder from their graves.
I really like this intro more than the one for Dark Souls 2.
Yeah.
Like it's very much kind of a copy of Dark Souls 1, but I like this style more than that weird. Remember the guy and like the lady's face melts and then you jump in the big firefly. Oh, Aldred.
Ah, it's all goopy.
Yep.
And melty.
Yep.
It's like you left a chocolate bar in your glove compartment.
Yep.
It just came spilling out.
Legion, the Abyss Watchers.
Oh, they're just looking into the abyss.
Not that dude. He's looking at his feet.
Yeah, they've got really unfortunate helmets. They look like wangs.
Lord of the Profane.
What?
Yep.
Giant King.
Yep. I find it really interesting. So I played this for about 20 hours so far, John.
Yeah.
And the way that this game is a blend of Dark Souls 2 and Dark Souls 1, it's interesting because Dark Souls 2 seemed to be like relatively disconnected from Dark Souls 1. Whereas this one seems to be like pooling the two of them back together in a much closer way. So now this is, you know, this has been online all the time, so I don't feel too bad about, you know, people seeing this.
And the unkindled will rise.
So who's that?
You'll see. We'll see before this video is over who that is.
Nameless, accursed undead, unfit even to be cinder. And so it is
Bring out your dead.
that ash seeketh embers.
So a lot of the kind of theming in this game is about fire and cinder and embers and that sort of thing. And it's pretty cool, pretty effective. So anyway, basically, this is very much similar to the Bloodborne. I'm going to call you Zeke.
Zeke's a good name.
Yeah. So this whole like character creation thing is of it's as you remember from Bloodborne, it has the young and aged and that kind of stuff.
Didn't Dark Souls 2 have that too?
I don't think so. I don't remember. I don't think so though. But anyway, here's your starting classes. As always, you got your knight. Your mercenary is a little bit more. Is a scimitar. I think it has a little bit more.
Very kind of Arabian.
Yeah, dexterity. So you can see that this is level 9. This is level 8. This is the warrior has
kind
more of an
Norse,
axe. Yeah,
Norse look to him.
Yep.
Yeah.
The herald is a spear warrior. The thief is more
Persian.
of a dagger.
Yeah.
Assassin is I believe it's a rapier.
Yeah.
As their starting weapon. Sorcerers are sorcerers, right? Pyromancer. What I find interesting about this is that unlike in Dark Souls 1, the Pyromancer started off at level 1, but they've kind of done away with that, right?
Yeah.
Like even in Bloodborne, I think the lowest you could get was the Waste of Skin,
Yeah.
which was like level 4.
Yeah, no, I remember that.
Clerics, level 7, and then the Deprived is the only one that starts off at level 1. So I tell you what, we're going to pick, let's see, I want to pick somebody that has some magic as well as, what do they start with? Can I see? I do also like that they have the descriptions of the different classes. So let's see. This is mace, shield, and healing, and they have what? Let's see. 12 strength, 8 dex, 16 faith, and 13 luck. Okay, let's go with the cleric.
right.
Well, actually, you know what? Let's go with Pyromancer should have some off. Let's see. What's the strength is 12 and dex is 9. Pyromancer should have some offensive magic. So let's go with Pyromancer. And then Burial Gift, this is just the gift that you get. These are all, there's none of them that are like the Master Key in Dark Souls 1. So I always pick
And
the
there's none of
ring.
them that are like completely useless, like the necklace or whatever it was.
Yeah. In the first one, I think that he hasn't done that for a while. The character creation is, very similar to the way that it was in
every other.
Yeah, we can really make, like, actually, when you look at the Serpentine or the Great Swamp Outcast, they're all messed up, and it says uniquely deformed face, or perhaps merely ugly. Prejudice births malcontents, and malcontents swarm to the Great Swamp. And actually, Pyromancers are from the Great Swamp, so let's go ahead and let's just take this monster.
All right.
Or I don't know. He's a little weird looking. Then we've got these pale dudes. I mean, I think that there are probably going to be enough people who find all the ways to make a monster in here.
Yeah.
Let's see. It looks like they're wearing lip gloss. Fuck it. This isn't even necessary. Let's say, let's do Burly. Let's just do that.
All right.
So, we're going to try to go up until, we're going to kind of try to go through the opening area, and then there's going to be a thing at the end of the opening area. It'll take a little while to get there, right? If you really do want to go into this game without knowing anything, this was a thing, and I'll tell you guys before it happens, that when I saw it, I was just like, oh, ooh, like I was like, oh yeah, so glad to be back in the Souls universe. So fair warning on that. Basically, this area is just rolling around and doing stuff. There's a few kind of garbage enemies. There's one, then there's a boss. Then we're going to be getting to a place. So yeah, our character comes up out of the ground. And one of the interesting themes about this, John, is that it seems like this is now, like the first one established the cycle of relighting the fire, right? And the second one established that no matter what happens, the fire will always be there, right?
Yeah.
This one is like an old world where this cycle of death and rebirth has happened all the time. So a lot of it is actually, like, a lot of the game is very kind of gray and ashy. Now, I wanted to show one of the most interesting things about this is that anybody who's played the Souls games can look down at the bottom and see some pretty standard stuff, right?
Yeah.
We got attacking, we got heavy attacks, you got your shield that you can block with. But one of the most interesting things here is if we look at this, we're going to see, okay, so this has a parry skill, right? But if we look at see how all these have a thing that says skill down at the bottom?
Yeah.
So this one says skill war cry. This one is skill combustion. Creates a powerful flame in the wielder's hand. One of the most basic pyromancies, and for this very reason, the flame created as fierce works with either hand. So the way that we have this equipped right now is we have the flame in our left hand with fireball, and then the shield. Now, the biggest change here, the thing that's really setting this apart for me right now, is you see the blue bar up at the top.
Yes.
You don't remember there being a blue bar
No.
in any of the other games. The blue bar is your FP gauge, which stands for, what is it?
Fucking picky.
Let's see. I don't even know. It doesn't even say what it is. Anyway, FP is used. This is the way that they are limiting your spells. In Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 2, like you would get Fireball and then you would have like 4 slots or 4 Fireball attacks, right?
Yeah.
Here, whenever you do a Fireball, that blue gauge is going to go down. See? And eventually you're going to have a way to get that back. But then the other interesting thing is that weapons all have an FP skill as well now. So if you dual hand a weapon and then you hit the left bumper, what you normally use for left bumper is still blocked, but left trigger is now for this particular weapon for the axe is War Cry. And that gives you like a small bonus to attacking. You see a little red stuff?
Yeah.
But like with other weapons, it'll do different things. It'll do like the longsword that I've been using through most of the game has a skill that will instantly pop the parry on, like if somebody's blocking, it'll instantly pop their block open so that you can attack, right? Some of the magics have different things that you can do. And then some of the shields, like this particular shield, the trigger on it is parry, normal parry, right? The great shields have bash, but then some of the shields will, when you hold down the left trigger, allow you to use that skill that's in your right-handed weapon. So if you want a build where you're going to be using that skill more, you can use a shield that's going to, give you that opportunity.
Yeah.
Now, this particular area down these little side roads are where you find a bunch of the kind of starting items, and this is the tutorial, right? Is these things on the ground are telling you all the things about how to do stuff. But then we also picked up this Ashen Estus flask, and that is how we get back the blue stuff. So we have 2 flasks now. We have one that gives us back health, the normal Estus flask, and then we have the blue one that gives us back our mana. So for a spellcaster, like you might want to have more blue flasks than you have Estus flasks, because if you're using your magic more often, you're going to need to refill that particular thing, right? I'm making sense.
Yes.
This makes sense.
I totally get it.
So we're actually really close. I really like the way that they've really. You can still backstab. You can still parry. I'm not super good at it right now. You can still two-hand everything. You got heavy attacks that you can do. What I actually kind of like about this game is that unlike the first game, this opening area, and for a lot of the game, is actually very light. Like it's actually very kind of weirdly gray and light. There's a little backstab.
Nice. Well done.
Yeah. It's funny. I spent all of Bloodborne learning how to parry. I'm terrible at it in Dark Souls 3.
Well, the timing's different.
Yeah, it is. Now, that is actually one thing that I think that, if I remember correctly, in Dark Souls 2, see, here's your stats: Vigor, Attunement, Endurance, Vitality, Strength, Dexterity, Intelligence, Faith, and Luck. So we can divide these up pretty easily, right? Intelligence and Faith are your spell castings, right? Strength and Dexterity are for your strength weapons, your dex weapons. Vigor and Attunement are your health bar and your FP bar.
Okay.
And then Endurance is, I believe, your carry weight and Vitality is your carry weight, Endurance is your stamina bar. So it's actually pretty simple, like in Dark Souls 2, and then Luck determines like crits and item discovery and things like that.
Okay.
In Dark Souls 2, they kind of had a system where there was actually a stat that governed how easy it was to parry people, called. I think it's called,
you just use an Estus flask?
Oh yeah, enemies will do that. There was a stat that regulated that.
Yeah.
And the better you were at that, the more invincibility frames you got for parrying.
Yeah.
That's kind of been done away with here. So let's go ahead and let's see.
Yeah, and by the way, it's not that I didn't know that enemies will use Estus flasks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember them using them that soon.
Oh well, damn it! In Dark Souls they will. In the Undead Burg, like at the very beginning, it's just the main thing is like when we were playing it, I was kind of rolling through them faster than they were able to actually use them. So
okay.
Because there's actually an item that you get called the Lloyd's Talisman that allows you to stop them from doing that.
Oh,
it's actually something that enemies will use on you. In Bloodborne, there was actually a thing called Numbing Mist, and I think there's only one enemy that uses it. I think Vicar Amelia uses it, and then I think that the hunter that shows up at Vicar Amelia's place will use it as well.
All
right. So, folks, this is kind of, I mean, if you don't want to know anything, this is kind of the point of no return. This is the first boss in the game. So, if you don't want to know anything, let us know in the comments and stop watching. But if you have been warned. I do realize that like a lot of this stuff is very much, it's great to see this stuff for the first time, to get to take a look at this stuff.
This place looks like that one place, except there was a tree in the center of it the first time.
What?
From the previous Dark Souls game. I can't remember if it was Dark Souls 1 or 2, but there was like a Coliseum kind of area. There was a tree in the center, and this dude leaning up against the tree.
Oh, yeah. In the Undead Forest at the very beginning of Dark Souls 2.
Yeah.
Now, this is actually kind of interesting.
Kind of reminds me of that.
Yeah. No, I could see that. I mean, I like the really big coffin that we've got here. So I don't know if you... It was
you just
very...
pulled the sword out of him.
But did you recognize that sword?
No.
It's the sword that's in the middle of the bonfires.
Oh.
Yeah. Damn it. Okay, I did not practice very much with this guy. The one advantage to us waiting to do these videos until later will be that I will be full-on practiced. Oops. When it comes time for this.
You say that.
Maybe.
No, you say that, but then when we hit record, it never quite goes like we planned.
That's true. That's very true. And I've got my fireballs, but I kind of want to save them because there's kind of an oh shit moment with this guy that I did not see coming the first time around. I think this is it. Oh no! Oh yep, there it is.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
He's like one of those firecracker things where, like, the snakes or whatever you call them.
Yeah.
Where you put them on fire and they just grow like.
Yeah.
They look like little pucks.
Yeah.
They look like little magnets.
Yes, indeed. So yeah, that was our first boss. And okay, so this is actually a really interesting new thing that is in this particular game. Is you see where it said Ember restored?
Yeah, and you kind of glow in red now.
Yeah, there's no humanity in this game. There's no human or undead, right?
Oh.
What it is that you see how much bigger my health bar is now?
Yes.
When your Ember gets restored and you have this glowiness to you, your health is higher, your attack is higher. But the minute you die, it's gone. So it's interesting because unlike Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 2, where like humanity, being human or going hollow was like a detriment, in here it's like being enkindled or whatever is a positive thing. Like they're rewarding you for playing well and not dying by giving you this leg up in combat. In fact, to the point where I played through the first 3 or 4 bosses in the game without ever leveling up once because I was able to kind of just use that system in order to keep a leg up on the competition, right? I didn't need to level up because I wasn't dying, so I was more powerful. And I also really love the way it looks. Like it just looks
it does. It looks
badass,
really cool,
right? Especially when you've got something
That's
with
also, interesting, when you say that, because, I mean, when you told me, it's like, oh, well, there is no going hollow, and it's like, oh, that's interesting, just from a story standpoint.
There kind of is. There's sort of a way that it happens, but it's complicated.
Yeah.
I'm 20 hours through my first playthrough, and all I've been doing is just reading item descriptions and kind of trying to let the game wash over me.
Yeah.
As opposed to trying to get really in depth towards, like, I'm not stopping even in this playthrough to look at all the item descriptions because, as you've seen, there's tons of items that all have individual descriptions.
Well, Well, it also goes, to the point of, and what I mean by that is just being a casual fan. What little I do know about the series,
Right.
thanks to you, which is actually quite a lot.
Because John's too polite to interrupt me when I start babbling.
I actually listen.
Uh-huh.
And I actually do listen to this stuff, and I actually do absorb it. But
these dogs. Fucking four.
And actually, when you started the game, though, I thought it was interesting that you're essentially the whole point of that opening intro was like, oh, people started rising from their graves,
Right.
But you didn't rise as a hollow; you rose as a, that alone was like, huh, that's interesting.
I'm still not entirely sure exactly what it is, and I would actually appreciate it if people in the comments would just be cool for a little while.
Don't go
like
pointing.
Just don't go into all of the details and everything. So let's see. So, all right. This is your last chance, casual watcher. We're about to get to a place where it is going to become impossible for you not to know things about the story of Dark Souls 2. All right? So I'm going to give you 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. John, welcome.
Yes.
Welcome once again to the Firelink Shrine.
Holy shit.
Yeah. The actual Firelink Shrine from the original Dark Souls. And here we have our crestfallen warrior.
Yeah, I was going to say, isn't that, what's his name?
Well, this is just, it's not anybody in particular,
Yeah.
but every game has had a crestfallen warrior.
Well, you're not alone. We unkindled are worthless. Can't even die right.
Interesting.
Gives me conniptions. And they'd have us seek the lords of Cinder and return them to their moulding thrones. But we're talking true legends with the metal to link the fire. We're not fit to lick their boots.
So,
Interesting.
so one of the really interesting things is we got a firekeeper here. This is actually the woman from the original, from the intro, right? Remember?
Yeah.
With the
Welcome to the bonfire, unkindled one. I am a firekeeper. I tend to the flame and tend to thee.
So in a strange move,
The lords have left their thrones. and
they don't
must
have
be
you.
delivered
They haven't reverted back to. They're still making you go see a lady to level up.
Yeah.
So since,
Farewell, Ashley
like,
the
one of the
Flame.
things that I don't like a little bit was that in Dark Souls 1, you got to the point where you didn't have to come back to this place. But one of the things that I really like is the thing that we got from the first boss is the actual sword that we need to create the bonfire.
Oh, that's actually pretty cool.
Which is really cool, right? Like,
like that's not going to be like the pattern is that you have to go find the sword.
No.
for every
Okay, so
bonfire.
here's the thing. These are the thrones of the Lords of Cinder.
Yeah.
And we saw them in the opening, right?
Yeah.
And so if we come up here, we can actually look at the back of their thrones, and it actually tells us St. Aldrich of the Deep, right? Here we've got Ludleth the Exiled. Up here, this is the big one. We have the Holy King Lothric. And then I believe these are the Watchers of Farron. They have a little throne. Watchers of the Abyss. And then over here we have, this is Yorm from the Profane
Yorm
Capital.
the Giant.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So what we are actually doing is we're venturing out to, like, there's people who are going to tell us if you exhaust your dialogue that, like, the lords will not sit on their thrones. So you are going to go kill them and take their ashes and put their ashes on the thrones. And actually, they won't sit on their thrones, but with what exception? John, did you see? Looky there. One of them is sitting on his throne.
Oh, hey.
All that unkindled, and a seeker of lords.
Of course, he doesn't have any legs, but
I am Ludleth of Corlan.
So he couldn't leave.
yeah.
Look not in bewilderment as I say. I link
Now,
the fire
I really like this idea that every one of these lords is like a hero from
It's someone who rekindled
linked the flame, right? Yeah.
This sad cadaver. No need to be coy. Have a closer look.
So this guy, he's the one that will, when you get the Lord souls, will transform them into like weapons and spells and stuff like that.
Okay.
Which is pretty cool. Then we have a couple of other Desians, and one of them, I can't tell you how much I smile, John.
Wait, who's that?
Oh, we'll get to her in a second. You recognize him?
Yeah, it looks familiar.
Well, A newcomer, I see. I am Andre. I serve.
You remember Andre was the
Yeah.
guy in the basement of the undead parish.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like in Dark Souls 1.
Still alive, huh?
Yep.
A toilsome journey, I wager. You'll require good arms. Let me smith you weapons.
So
Such as my purpose.
I was just, when I saw this in the middle of the night, John, I was just like, So here's a few more like quick details. The Estus system from Dark Souls 2 is back, where you have 3 flasks, but you find shards. You bring the shards back, and then you get additional flasks. So
Okay.
it's not like Dark Souls 1. It's also not like Bloodborne. You don't ever have to farm for Estus, right?
Yeah.
The other thing that's really interesting is this thing right here, a lot Estus. And this lets you basically pick how many of each you want to have. So if you're a spellcaster, you might want to go with like 3 and 1, right?
Okay.
And if you're more of a fighter, like I've got 11 and 0 right now because I don't use FP as much. Like, or if you're going to a boss, you might do this, right? Or if you're going to go fight, you might do this. So this is a
Yeah.
really nifty little system, right?
Okay. Yeah. No, that's actually really cool.
Now the weapon degradation is like it is in Dark Souls 2, where you've noticed it. See the little red bars
Yeah.
are there. But on the other hand, I have yet to get into a situation where like a long sword or an axe or a claymore will break over the course of a level. I think that's mostly so that you can have some weapons that are very powerful but very fragile, like the Uji Katana.
Yeah.
That still makes weapon degradation mean something, but it doesn't mean that if you're using a regular stock standard weapon that it's going to be a big problem.
Yeah. No, I get that.
Now, you've got your standard reinforcement, and you get basically the same as always: shards, large shards, and then chunks to upgrade. And then he can also infuse weapons, like in Dark Souls 2, right? Remember?
Okay.
Where you would get like refined gem, right? Which changes your attribute bonuses a little bit, or like fire gem that adds fire damage to it that scales in a certain way. You remember when we were doing that? We were making like lightning clubs and shit.
Yeah.
But there's like 8 more of these that didn't exist in Dark Souls 2. Like there's one that basically just whatever the strength bonus is, it ups it another letter grade. Like it's called heavy, and like so if you have like an A rank strength weapon and you're a strength character, you just make it an S rank strength weapon.
Jesus.
Yeah. Then we have this lady who is our regular vendor.
Ashen one, I am but a humble handmaid of the shrine. Weapons, armor, trinkets, and spells. I've lots of little things to ease the burden of a weary traveler. And yes, I'm undead too, but not so charitable as to give my goods away.
That's right, Grandma. Don't give away the goods. Sorry.
Fetch souls and
The one thing that's missing in this game, John, is a creepy man in a wheelchair to go, you can use the doll.
Well, you know.
Or a doll, you know. So, you know, she will sell you items. Like here, you can pick up the soapstone.
Okay.
Like, a difference from original Dark Souls, she has just unlimited homeward bones. You can buy them. They're cheap. You can get them whenever you want to. Embers we picked up before, and those are the things that like let us. That's like humanity that lets us rekindle if we die.
Okay.
And then of course, you know, we've got all the different invasion tools. We got the little prism stones that we can put down, fire bombs, repair powder if you want to use that. And then we've got, you know, she sells a key to a big tower and some stuff. Now, the way that this works is it's going to be a lot more like Bloodborne, where you see all of these little like fires in here. As you go through the game, you're going to pick up like other specialists that you bring in that'll do things like sell you items or sell you spells or things like that. Now, I'm going to tell you the saddest story of all, John, is when I was downloading Dark Souls 3, it got to 30% and it said, you can now play Dark Souls 3. And I was like, huzzah! So I got here and I couldn't figure out where to go next. I went all over the outside of the shrine, and then I went over to the bonfire, and just like in the previous Souls games, you can teleport between different bonfires. But you can't teleport until the game is fully installed. So I had to wait for the other 70% of it to download. Just like in Dark Souls 2, I believe, you can burn bone shards here to get +1, +2, +3 Estus flasks.
Okay.
You do have a storage box. You can also do your spell attuning. So our next stop is the high wall of Lothric. And this is probably where it's all going to kind of fall down on me a little bit because I haven't practiced this area all that much. But I feel like we're giving people a pretty good, good just kind of like
little
opening
peek.
gist. Yeah. Like I said, I'm about 20 hours in. I think I'm starting to narrow in. But see, I'm not sure because in both Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 2, you would have a thing where it was like, go kill 4 of the lords. And then once you did that, the game would be like, now go kill 4 more of them. Or like you remember in Dark Souls 2, we had to kill like the 4 spokes, right?
Yeah.
And then once we did that, then we got the stuff that we needed to continue further on.
Yeah.
I do really like the way this game looks, John. And I also, I don't know if this is the Lord Vessel, but if it is, what like a crazy...
Is that another bonfire sword?
Kind of looks like it, right?
Yeah.
But it said we can't actually interact with that. I should have picked up a torch. I feel like there's been some coverage already online of this particular area, but this is where we go next. Was the high wall of Lothric. Just like in Dark Souls 1, I do like the fact that you can see other areas. And in fact, one of the coolest things that I've run into in the game so far is there's an area that you get to where there's an ally that you can make that will damage some of the other enemies in the area from afar. Like think of him like a sniper, right?
Okay.
And he's at the top of a tower. And then later on in the game, I was like in a whole other area, and suddenly those sniper shots started like ringing out around me, and I looked and I could see like way in the distance was that same tower, and I was just like, oh damn, son.
He's got your back?
Yeah. I really like these guys. I like the idea that the hollows, they seem to be kind of all, I can't tell if they're going towards the sun or if they're going towards this building over here. They kind of all seem to be going in the same direction.
Yeah.
But yeah, the individual combat is very Dark Souls. And in some ways, I feel like after Bloodborne, it feels a little bit more generic than it used to. Oh, shit. I'm just not. I'm still not tuned to it.
Yeah, you're still in Bloodborne tuning.
Yeah. In fact, in Bloodborne, now that I've kind of gone through both of them, I realized that Bloodborne is a hell of a lot easier than Dark Souls. Because in Bloodborne, you can screw around and you can use the regain system to get back health that you've lost. Like you can get caught flat-footed, but if you're aggressive enough, you can just get in there and get your health back, right?
Yeah.
Whereas in Dark Souls, no. It's interesting kind of going back to the idea that you have to really conserve like your healing items, and it's really all about kind of learning the layout of the levels. It's not about reacting the same way that Bloodborne is, and it's more about like planning and careful movement through the individual areas of the game. I don't know if this is the right place I'm supposed to be going, but so haha.
What?
No, you'll see in just a second. This area has a little thing. A thing that's been in every game.
Oh, okay. Nice. Well done there.
So, you want to take a guess what that thing is, John?
It's probably going to be like a dragon coming down and destroying the bridge
You
or
think
something.
this dragon might come down? Oh, you're right. It's a goddamn dragon! Torch him, boy! Damn. He is not messing around. All right, so this is going to be the loudest part of the entire video.
Yep.
I feel like also if you come down here and screw around too much, he will then torch down all these guys down here. Yeah, there he goes. Damn it. All right, I didn't want to have to do this, but... Oh, shit. Forgot. There's a dragon up there.
Yep.
Ouchie.
Oof. He got you.
Yeah, he did. Tagged me pretty good. All right, so let's see. I will say that they like the whole kindled mechanic really does add a level of like, I do not want to die.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to have to use up that finite resource in order to get back the extra health that I have right now. Damn it. Well,
You've used it.
yeah, what I want, not such a thing.
What you want, the game wants, are two completely different things, and
Yep.
unfortunately, the game is the one that gets to choose.
Yep, the game gets to pick who does what. I will say that unlike, you remember the amount of shortcuts and things in like the first area in Bloodborne?
Yes.
This game kind of has that through just about every area. Like there's so many little shortcuts and like little like back routes to things that it's pretty incredible. This guy will rile up all the other undead that are in the area if you let him. I think he's got one behind me right now, I believe. Yeah, there he comes. So, yeah. But from here, you kind of just end up moving forward. Like, we might, I might go through a little bit more of this level, but I don't really know. At this point, it's just like what I've said so far is just kind of a taste of the game. I don't know if there's more that I can say without just being like, all right, so then this is what happens next in the story of Dark Souls 3. Like, as opposed to just kind of talking about the combat system and the upgrade system. And I've never actually played a Pyromancer before, so this is kind of interesting. I do know there's a kind of a little shortcut all on its own right to get around these guys with the dragon. You want to do it, buddy? I'd really rather you hit these guys down here, Dragon Man. I wonder if you can run underneath him. I haven't tried yet. Oh, yes, I have. It was a terrible shit show because he leaves fire that hurts
everywhere
you on the ground. Yep. All right, well, let's just fight our way through these assholes instead of trying to run. I've done a lot of running to the next checkpoint. Are you doing it? Oh, yay! Good boy! Yay, dragon! Or good girl, or whatever. Good dragon, whatever you are. There have been, so far I've had to say that there have been some pretty epic boss fights. For those of you who are Patreon subscribers who saw us fight Lady Maria of the Astral Clock Tower, there have been at least 2 fights that I could think of that were kind of that same level. There was one that I actually beat a couple days ago where I was literally down to my last bit of health and 0 Estus remaining when I beat the boss. See, that was a weapon skill that he just did, much to my eternal chagrin. Nope, shit. But I got out my pyromancy flame. A lot of the enemies in here will hit behind them, which is a real pain in the ass for those of us who like to backstab. Damn it! Hey, you know what? Eat fire, stupid. Seriously. Let me just go with fire for the rest of these jerks. Lot of doors that only open from one direction. A lot of switchbacks. A lot of other stuff. So far, I've really been enjoying it. So, and I think that what's our time looking like? I mean, I think that we might just kind of be the end of. Okay, I might move forward just a little bit, but I think that's probably. I mean, that's probably a good introduction to people. Kind of, get your feet wet. Tell you a little bit about. There do seem to be quite a few bonfires that are accessible near each other. But there have been some points where I've been confused because I've hit a bonfire and then I've gone like half the distance I would normally expect to get to another bonfire and been like, so is there like another level over here or what? So yeah, that's it. I think this is a good place to stop as any.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to actually get to the boss of this particular level. So this has been Dark Souls 3. This has been Super Awesome Video Game Show. Do us a favor. Go down in the comments and let us know, like, do you want to see, like, give us, I tell you what I really want is I want a firm yay or nay from people about whether they want to see full-on dojos and streaming and that sort of stuff about Dark Souls 3. Hell, I could probably even give people, in a couple of weeks, I'll probably even be to the point where I could give people some tips about how to get through some of this stuff. So yeah, let us know. Also, you can follow us on, Facebook and Twitter like you do. We usually do early access here. So if you're brand new, maybe go into the comments and let us know if there's. See, these guys seem to be worshiping the dragon. Go into the comments, let us know if there's some stuff that you would like to see from
So
us.
is the dragon asleep?
That's a dead dragon.
Oh, it's dead.
Like a lot of this world is dead. That's
And they're worshiping the dead because they can't die, and they wish they were dead?
I think that's part of it. I haven't gotten to that point yet. Like, I almost get the feeling, so this is full speculation, so if it's wrong, by the way, one of those hollows up there just turned into the same thing as the...
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And I think you get an Estus shard if you kill him. But I think if I had to make an educated guess that the Lords of Cinder refuse to link the fire because linking the fire will only perpetuate the cycle of death and rebirth. So I think that it's almost like maybe I'm totally not sure about this, where those previous fire keepers, or those previous fire lighters, I guess you should say, have all come together and kind of banded together to refuse to rekindle the fire. And so your job as the unkindled is to go and basically force them by making them submit to your will and then taking their ashes, as opposed to having them sit on the throne themselves. I'm just going to kind of run through here a little bit. There's a big old knight down here that I don't really want to futz with right now. In fact, actually, I think there's a boss. Yeah, there is a boss.
But we're at the end of the video. So.
Okay, well I'll just show you guys the boss. We won't actually fight him. We'll just show him the boss, and then we'll be done. Down here. Yeah, I thought I kind of remembered how to get through here.
Are those guys in the beginning that you saw lying down or passing out?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, you find a bunch of them. So, all right, guys, we're just going to show you a little taste, and then you let us know if you want to see more in the comments below. All right, that's it. Good night.